Imagine walking into work tomorrow morning, one of your most dependable employees knocks on your office door and he or she smiles and says, "Thank you for believing in me." Then they hand you a resignation letter. You're completely shocked. You immediately ask yourself, what happened? But here's the truth. It didn't happen today. It didn't happen this week. It probably didn't even happen this month. Burnout had been quietly building while everyone, including leadership, believed everything was fine. Today, I want to talk to every CEO, hospital, administrator, HR professional, nurse manager, physician leader, business owner, and supervisor. Because burnout isn't just costing employees their health, it's costing organizations their best talents. Let's talk about it.
Welcome to Take Charge with Dr. Chichi.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Take Charge with Dr. Chichi. I am Dr. Chichi. The title of this episode is Why Your Best Employees Are Leaving, a leader's blueprint for preventing burnout and improving employee retention. Can you afford to lose them? For more than 36 years, I worked in healthcare leadership, in education and clinical informatics. I've cared for patients, worked alongside extraordinary healthcare professionals, led projects, monitored colleagues. And after about 29 years with one healthcare organization, I stepped away and spent time reflecting. I kept asking myself one question: what can organizations do differently so talented employees don't simply survive but thrive? The question became part of my mission. Burnout isn't simply an employee problem, it's a leadership opportunity. Today's episode is for leaders who want to build organizations where people stay, grow, and thrive. Like we all know, burnout is costing more than you think. So imagine a nurse named Sarah. She's dependable, she trains new staff, she volunteers, she never complains. When someone calls in sick, Sarah says yes. When another committee needs help, Sarah says yes. Everyone loves Sarah because she's reliable. But slowly, Sarah stopped eating lunch. She works overtime. She misses family dinners. She becomes emotionally exhausted and she keeps smiling. Then one day, just one day, she resigns. And then leadership says, "We never saw it coming. We never saw it coming." But Sarah had been showing signs for months. The resignation wasn't the first sign, it was the last sign. So, what's the teaching point here? Burnout costs organizations. It costs organization productivity, employee engagement, team morale, recruitment costs, orientation costs, experience, patient satisfaction, customer satisfaction. One resignation affects the entire team. So the question isn't whether burnout exists in our organization. The question is whether you're recognizing it early enough. So there are three warning signs leaders often miss. And these three signs is important for leaders to know. Burnout whispers before it screams. Burnout seeps in slowly. It's really subtle. Sign number one, the warning sign number one is your best employee suddenly becomes quiet. Not because they don't care, because they're exhausted. Warning sign number two, someone who once loved coming to work begins counting the hours until they can leave. Warning sign number three, Excellence slowly becomes exhaustion. Small mistakes appear. Patient, patience decreases. Energy disappears. So let me give you this. Just imagine this. Let me tell you this story. Maybe this will help. Imagine driving your car. The fuel light comes on. You wouldn't use the tape to cover and pretend everything is fine. So employees have warning lights too. The difference is they're emotional instead of mechanical. And this is why I developed the Take Charge Burnout Barometer. It's a framework that I developed to help people assess themselves. It's also called 5 Ds of burnout. The 5 zones on this framework are drain, drift, distortion, disarray, and disconnect. I created the Take Charge Burnout Barometer framework because nurses, healthcare professionals, and everyone needs a simple, quick way to assess their emotional state. So let me explain the 5 zones. Drain zone. Burnout doesn't begin with collapse. It begins with a leak. Imagine a tap in a sink dripping. As it keeps on dripping, the sink fills up and overflows, and the water starts dripping on the floor, and then the carpet soaks. The drain zone is the first quiet warning. You are tired even after rest. The drift zone, after quiet depletion of drain zone, many people begin to drift. This is this stage. This is the stage where burnout disconnects you from your why. This is when you start losing your purpose or passion. The distortion zone is the third zone. So if drain is the quiet exhaustion and drift is the disconnection from purpose. So this zone is where burnout begins to twist how you see yourself. You are now irritable and negative thinking shows up. The next zone is a disarray zone. On the disarray zone, by the time the burnout reaches the disarray zone, the impact becomes visible. Your routine begins to unravel. Life feels chaotic. You are overwhelmed and in chaos. And then the disconnect zone. So this is the final and often the hardest phase of burnout. In this disconnect zone, you're no longer just tired, overwhelmed. You are numb. You're numb and detached. So this tool helps you pause and check in with yourself. Healing begins with awareness, and you cannot fight what you cannot name. So the leaders, I just want to mention this, the earlier you intervene, the greater the chance of keeping great employees. So there are 5 leadership habits that retain great employees. And those 5 leadership habits are: ask better questions instead of everything okay? Instead, ask, how are you really doing? Number 2, recognize people before they burn out. Don't wait until Employee Appreciation Week. Create a culture of regular appreciation. Train leaders to recognize burnout. Leadership development is burnout prevention. Number 4, reward healthy performance. Don't celebrate people for never taking vacation or always working overtime. Celebrate sustainable excellence. And then number 5, create psychological safety. So imagine a leader who decides to spend just 5 minutes each month checking in with every employee, not discussing productivity, not reviewing performance, just asking, how are you doing? That simple habit can build trust, strengthen relationship, and help leaders recognize burnout before it becomes a resignation letter. Sometimes people don't need immediate solutions. They simply need to know that someone noticed. So let's reflect. So this is leadership reflection time. So ask yourself, if I work for me, would I stay? Would my employees describe our culture as supportive? Do my people feel heard? Do they feel appreciated? Do they know they matter beyond what they produce? Leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's not. It's about creating an environment where people can do their best, work without sacrificing their well-being. So for financial reflection, burnout isn't just emotional, it's expensive. Replacing one experienced employee can cost far more than retaining one. So investing in employees' well-being isn't just compassionate, it's smart business. So healthy employees should build healthy organizations. So based on my experience in healthcare, leadership, and education, I'm expanding my work to partner with healthcare organizations and businesses that want to strengthen leadership, prevent burnout, and improve employee retention. My goal is to help organizations build healthier workplace cultures through keynote speaking, leadership development, and practical burnout prevention strategies. If you're looking for a speaker for your leadership summit, nursing conference, executive retreat, hospital, healthcare organizations, or corporate events, I'll be honored to partner with you. Together, we can build a workplace where people don't just survive, they thrive. If today's conversation resonates with you and your leadership team, I will be honored to explore how we can work together. So if you're an employee, share this episode with your leader. If you're a leader, share it with your executive team. Let's begin conversation that prevents burnout before people decide to leave. Remember, people really leave because of one difficult day. Most resignations are the result of many difficult days that were never addressed. Burnout prevention isn't an employee benefit. It's a leadership responsibility. So thank you for joining me in another episode of Take Charge with Dr. Chichi. I am Dr. Chichi. Until next time, protect your people, strengthen your leaders, build healthier workplaces, because when your people thrive, your organization thrives too. And as always, take charge. Thank you and bye.
Take Charge with Dr. Chichi is a brand of Sparkling Star Development Strategies LLC. The information provided is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, legal, or medical advice. Financial services are offered independently by Dr. Chichi in accordance with applicable licensing and regulatory standards. Thank you for watching.